This is the first in a series of videos that cover the first part of the project management introduction. So what we're going to look at for this first video is projects. So what is a project? Hopefully you remember this from your engineering management. Project is a temporary endeavour undertaken to create a unique product or service. So that's from PMBOK. You recall that PMBOK is one of the um, ways of looking at project management put out by the PMI, the Project Management Institute. And so let's look at that definition in a little bit more detail. Temporary means there's a definite beginning and end. It doesn't go on and on and on. So for example, you come on site, it's a nice green field, and that's when the project starts. You build a building or you build a road, and then you leave. So there's a definite beginning, definite end. The end is when you leave, when the project is all finished. It's not like if you were in a factory where obviously the factory has a beginning when you build it and you start production, but there's no anticipated end to it. Yes, it will end in the sometime in the future, but there's no definite end. We'll keep on producing it until the factory is replaced or something like that. So that's the difference between temporary and permanent. Unique, it's not been done before. No one's ever built that building or that road in that location before at that time of the year, for example. Even if you're using the same set of plans from a previous bridge, no one's ever built it in that area, had to deal with the soils, had to deal with that time when you're actually building it. As opposed to, say, a factory where, say, you're producing pipes and you have to produce the same pipe over and over and over and over again, exactly the same. So that's the difference. A product, service and result, they are the things that come out of a project. They are what is called deliverables. So deliverables can be several types of thing. First of all, they could be a physical object like a bridge or a road or a subdivision, and that's called a product. Or they could be a service, the capability to do something. So it could be a computer system, you're upgrading your computer system for a new student enrollment, or a you survey the site to produce a set of topo, which isn't a product in itself, but it is a service. You're doing something for someone. And a result is something happens. So it might be that your project is to plan a rock concert, and at the end of it, you have a rock concert. So the deliverable is the rock concert. So it's a result. Or you institute a company-wide scheme to make people better, more skilled. So the result there is that people are more skilled. You are doing a project at present which is to get a degree, so the result is that you become a qualified engineer or whatever it is. So those are the three different types of deliverable, if you like: result, service or result. So as I said, those three are all deliverables. Let's look at that concept of projects versus operations in a little bit more detail. Remember, this course is all about projects, but it's useful to know what is a project and what isn't a project. So a project is temporary, unique product, specific task. So putting a pipeline in, as shown by this little diagram here, is a project. They come onto a nice green site, and at the end of it there's a pipe underground. Operations are ongoing. The same product, repetitive tasks. So in this case here, it's a factory producing polyethylene pipe. So you can see there's the extrusion machine, and they just keep on producing the same pipe over and over again. There's no anticipated end to that factory. It'll keep on producing pipes as long as it's profitable. So it's semi-permanent, if you like. Now, both of them, projects and operations, have one thing in common, and that is that they are limited resources, and they need to be planned, executed and monitored. You need to plan the work, you need to get the materials on there, you need to execute it properly, and you need to monitor it as you go. So what is project management? So project management is the discipline of planning, organizing, securing, leading, controlling resources to achieve a specific goal. So that's from Wikipedia, and don't let anyone tell you that that's not a good resource. So the first thing there, the first word is discipline. A discipline is a branch of knowledge. So another discipline could be physics or quantum physics, biology, plant biology, whatever. So we're a discipline, we're a branch of knowledge, human knowledge. Um, And so project management is a branch of human knowledge. Civil engineering is another branch. Sometimes they coincide. Planning, organising, securing, managing, leading and controlling. So these are the processes you undertake as a project manager to achieve your project objectives. And it's all about resources. You are managing resources to achieve those specific goals. So that's the last thing, is there are specific goals and you are managing those resources to achieve those specific goals. And to manage those resources, you need to go through those processes of planning, organising, securing resources, managing, leading and controlling. There are other ways of looking at project management. So as I said, PMBOK is one way of looking at it. PMBOK, Project Management Body of Knowledge, put out by the Project Management Institute. So they started in the 1940s, 1950s, and have developed from there. But other people have been doing it around the world as well. So PMBOK is basically, it was started in the United States, but it's right across the world. It's probably the most common way of managing projects, the common system used to manage projects in New Zealand now. There are others. Prince2 was developed in Europe, and it has a different slant on the way you manage a project. Agile project management has sort of come along recently, or last few decades, and they have another way of looking at it as well. And so there are many more different ways of looking at project management. But in this course we are teaching you PMBOK. We are teaching you the Project Management Institute way of managing a project. But do be aware that there are other ways of managing a project. In the course we're going to be using two main references, a couple more that are also quite useful. Now PMBOK, the Project Management Body of Knowledge, is the generic project management knowledge. Now it's put together by a whole lot of professional project managers, and it is a bit complicated. It is a system approach, and it's very, very systematic, and it's probably a bit more too complicated for what we need as engineers. So we use the user's manual to the PMBOK guide because it's more easily understood and it's better presented than PMBOK, and it's arranged in a way that meets the requirements of the course a little bit more. And we also use the construction extension to the PMBOK guide, which came out in 2016. So the PMBOK guide is looking at just generic project management. So you could apply it to a computer project, a project to upgrade a hospital, anything. But construction extension actually expands PMBOK out to construction projects, which is what we're interested in as project managers. And we're going to look at that more in later videos. So that concludes this video.